Hey guys, how's it going? This right here is the Realme X50 Pro, which is running the all-new Realme UI 2.0 new update. The new update brings about a lot of new features, and this video is something in which we'll be covering all of them, like literally all of them. So stay tuned, grab some popcorn, and let's talk about everything, like literally everything that's new with Realme 2.0. This is Varun from Guiding Tech, and let's get started. Now before starting off, I'll just show you that yes, we are indeed running Realme UI 2.0. So this is Realme 6, and as you can see, this is about phone, Realme UI version 1.0 and Android version 10. But here on the Realme X50 Pro, you go to, and there you see Realme UI version 2.0 and Android version 11. You tap on it. Yep. Okay, so the first thing that we notice here are the design changes. So like in Realme UI 1.0, this was the notification bar that you had. A normal notification tray. And when you slide it open, you have all this whiteness all around. With Realme UI 2.0, you get a transparent shade. And the transparency continues throughout the overall experience. And also if you notice, the icons are pushed a little bit downwards, making it easier for you to reach with your fingers. Then you have the overall same menu in terms of quick settings, but there are a couple of more quick settings tiles that are available on Realme UI 2.0. So that is another big plus. Now another thing to note here is that Realme UI 2.0 also comes with the option of multi-user. You see this option right here. This allows you to have multiple users. This is a basic Android feature that is missing on a lot of phones and in fact wasn't present on Realme UI 1.0, but it's here on Realme 2.0. You can add a multi-user here. So there's a guest account, the current user that I am, and you can add a user directly from here. Now a new update to Realme UI would not be complete without talking about game space, right? So I am going to open game space on this. And as you can see already, game space has a lot of new features in Realme UI 2.0. You get automatic resolution adjustment, brightness lock. Well, brightness lock was there previously as well, but you also get quick startup, network priority, network acceleration, mesh touch prevention, and then there are the abilities to block notifications and reject calls as well. I think the best part here are these new performance modes that you get. So there's a low power mode, a balanced mode, and a competition mode. So obviously this is depending on the kind of battery that you have on your system. But yeah, this will obviously help in giving you best FPS inside games that's possible. Now, another new feature is with the camera UI. So on the whole, it still looks the same, but there are some new features added here. So let's say you go to settings, and the one biggest advantage here is this new composition menu. So what it does is that it will show you a level field. So basically you can have a bubble level that will show that your phone is straight, and you can enable grids for your photos and videos, which is another plus point. So you can have the grid or the diagonal lines, or even the gold spiral for your photos. Something like this. So yeah, if you're super serious about your photography, composition helps quite a lot. I still prefer the normal grid lines, but it totally depends on your shooting style. So another new feature is the quick share menu. Like in OnePlus, you have the tap and hold, but here all you have to do is once you click a photo. So on Realme UI 1.0, there was no new feature, but on Realme UI 2.0, once you click a photo, you can just swipe a little bit up and you have either the edit option or you have the share option. So you can edit it quite easily right here, different markup options, or if you swipe up, you can have the share option. So you can easily share it with any of your sharing apps. Another new feature in the settings is this portrait distortion correction. I'm not quite sure what it does, but I assume that it's supposed to make your portrait photos a little better and make the blurring a little more natural. So another new option here in the camera UI are the new filters. So if you talk about Realme UI 1.0, you had a total of 10, basically 10 different filters, but here you get up to 15 different filters. So that's another thing that you can play around with if you fancy all those filters. Okay, now moving on, there's the personalization menu, which you can access via the settings app. Now here, if you had to customize your system, well, there's not a lot that you can customize per se in Realme UI 1.0. All you had to do was go to the theme store and just select different sections of it. On Realme UI 2.0, you get a personalizations menu, which is similar to the customization menu on OnePlus Oxygen OS. And in here, you have themes, wallpapers, always on displays, icon styles, app layout, fingerprint styles, font and display size, notification drawers, and edge lighting. So notification drawers basically allows you to change the shape of these quick setting icons. Then there's the themes. So obviously that will take you to the theme store. Then there are the different wallpapers that you can use. You have the always on displays, which is extremely customizable. Like you get a lot of features here, and you can add a lot of stuff here. Different clock styles, different watch faces. Then there are icon styles, and obviously there are the Art Plus icons that you can use to easily change the icon size and customize everything. But more importantly, you also get support for custom icon packs as well, or third-party icon packs. So if you press accept, and you can install custom icon packs here as well. So there's Pebble, and you can just install any other icon pack you want to. So that is another plus point. Lastly, there's the font and display size. Fonts were present previously as well. You could install different fonts, but now there's a more simplified, simplified menu for it. Like I'll just show you how the font page looked in Realme UI 1.2. So in Realme UI 1.0, you had the font size, display size right in the display settings. And to change the font, your menu would look something like this. It will take you to the theme store settings. Then there was the font size, the standard Wizard of Oz settings, and the display size where you change the DPI and all. So it will look something like this. Here, it's a little more refined. You can change everything right here. There's a full menu for it, and I like this kind of a setup more. It's just more refined, better organized. So yeah, that helps. Okay, now moving on to the home screen, there are a lot of new features here. I think one of my favorite features to come is the icon pull down gesture. So for instance, you have all these icons on top screen, right? Obviously, it's going to be tough if you're using the phone in your hand to actually access all the icons on top. With Realme UI 2.0, you can easily access them by just swiping in from the bottom right corner. So it's something like this, and all the icons just reduce, and you can easily access whichever icon you want to. It makes one-handed usage so much easier. The option is enabled by default, and I suggest that you keep it enabled because trust me, it's a great feature to have. Now when you tap and hold, the entire menu here has been redefined as well. You get more rows here, and accessing these options is much more easier. So when you tap on wallpapers, you have easy access to all your wallpapers, including this new live wallpaper that comes with Realme UI 2.0. I cannot find it on Realme 1.0, so I guess it's new, but there's a possibility that it might have existed on some other devices with Realme UI 1.0, so I can't be completely sure about it. But anyway, let's just go back to this one only. And yeah, the whole wallpaper menu also looks much more refined here. Then there are the icons, like we talked about previously. There's the layout section that you can change, and that also looks good. See, you can't change the layout from in Realme UI 1.0, but here you can easily adjust the layout to your liking, making it easier or whatever if you want to put in more icons on your home screen. Then there's the widget tab, and that is also better optimized. See, widgets on Realme UI 1.0 were shown in a very basic format, but on Realme UI 2.0 they just look much better now. So yeah, I think it's like having those standard widgets menu in a more concise format, and I definitely picked this one more. Then there are the transitions, which are pretty much the same as effects previously. Now going on to settings, there are a couple of new features that I wanna highlight. First off is show app suggestions, which you can toggle, which basically shows you suggestions at the top of the app drawer. So if you want it, you can have that setting. See, on Realme UI 1.0, this thing was enabled by default. You cannot turn it off. But with Realme UI 2.0, you have the option of turning that thing off. So yeah, that is another plus point. Now back to home screen and other settings. Another feature that you can change is the quick launch, which is not available on Realme UI 1.0. It's a new feature that's been added on Realme UI 2.0, and it's basically how quick launch on OnePlus devices exists. Basically on the lock screen, if you tap and hold on the fingerprint scanner, you can just add more apps. So basically you enable quick launch, you add certain apps here or shortcuts. So for instance, I added Aldo here, and then here I'll just add Chrome, and then on this side Let's just add maps, because why not? And yeah, okay, so the way to use it is when the phone is locked, just tap and hold the finger, and then here you have the quick launch menus. So you can easily drag your finger and use quickly launch Maps, Chrome, or Alto, or basically whichever app you pre-configured it to launch. Okay, now coming back to the home screen, another new feature that basically Realme UI 2.0 gives you is the ability to merge folder. So basically, if you have two folders on your home screen, so if I drag one folder on top of the other, it'll just reposition it. But on Realme 2.0, if I just drag it on top of it, the contents will merge into a single folder. So that makes the whole sorting process a little easier. Or in my case, it just makes the whole process of clearing out a home screen easier. You know. But anyway, going to the app drawer, now you also have another new option that says manage. Now manage lets you sort things out easily. So you can sort by name, install time, or you can sort by the most used apps. A lot of us will prefer most used apps, but I still prefer going back to the standard name because things are arranged alphabetically. So that's always great. But my favorite feature here is the select tab. So let's say you have the select feature. So I have Google Drive, Ghana, and Facebook, for instance. I can do a batch uninstall right here. So I don't have to install any different app to basically batch uninstall different apps. I can just directly uninstall all these apps by selecting them and uninstalling them right from here. Okay, so now moving to the display settings. Let's just quickly head to the settings and head over to display. One of the best additions here is with dark mode. So dark mode was obviously present previously as well, but earlier dark mode was just this. But with Realme UI 2.0, you get the dark mode settings options. So it allows you to have an enhanced option, a medium dark mode, or even a gentle dark mode that has a grayish kind of a tone. And this is particularly great if you are someone who is a fan of dark mode, but even uses it during daytime. Because people are there who like that blackish finish, but also want to conserve their battery. But using a enhanced mode under direct sunlight can be quite tough. So yeah, the gentle one works perfect for those conditions. Then you also have the option to adjust wallpapers to dark mode. So it will basically adjust the contrast and brightness to make it more appealing inside a dark mode. Okay, now let's cover each and every different setting individually. So in the Wi-Fi settings, there's this new option that allows you to share a Wi-Fi QR code. So if I'm trying to share my saved password of a Wi-Fi with someone, they can just easily just scan the Wi-Fi, like you get a scanner here. And that's it. You don't have to you don't have to enter the password manually. Now another feature that I personally love a lot is something quite simple. I don't know a lot of you guys whether you like it or not, but it's something that I quite appreciate. Is when you go to advanced settings on Realme UI 2.0, there's this display settings. Now in display settings, you can have the Wi-Fi version number show up as well. So if you zoom in, you can see that it shows a little 5 icon here, because right now the hotspot that I'm connected to is a 5 GHz network. Similarly, if I had switched to a different 2.4 GHz network, there will be a 2.4 setting shown here, and that really helps. It's a very little touch, but yeah, it looks great. Now, speaking of things where you can see the different standards or the versions that you're connected, there's something in Bluetooth settings as well. So if you go into Bluetooth and you go to advanced settings, you have the option of showing the display codec standard. So basically that means whether you're using AAC or Qualcomm aptX, it'll show that in the status bar as well. Now following suit in the sound and vibration setting, you also have the vibration intensity option. So you can change the different vibrations for ring and vibration on touch. I like to keep both of them on strong because the vibration motor, at least on the X50 Pro, is very refined, so that's good. But depending on the device that you use, you might want to keep it on medium just to be safe. Next up we have privacy, and this new feature is exclusive to Realme UI 2.0, which is System Cloner. So System Cloner basically takes multi-user experience to the next level. It allows you to sync notifications from both the users and allows you to basically create a private space of all your private apps and have their own data right there while cloning all those things. So yeah, while in a different user system, you would have something similar to having different users is basically having a different space for everything else. A system clone is basically a clone of your own user in just a more secure manner for basically giving you a more private space. So setting it up is easy. You just have to set up a new password for this. It's done. Just enroll a fingerprint if you want to. And right now we're in the cloned setup. So we enter the password of the system clone and it's here. So if I'm on the lock screen and I use my thumb to log in, what will happen? It's kind of slow right now because it's still in beta, but what will happen, it'll take me back to my original setup, which is my primary account. But if I, okay, once again it's sluggish right now, but if I try and log in with my finger, it'll take me to the system cloned version. That's a different account. So yeah, as you can see. And as you can see, it's way too buggy right now. But yeah, I mean, it's in beta, so let's just give it the benefit of doubt for now. Now moving on to security, you have a pseudo base station blocking feature, which basically blocks all of those fake or fraudulent base stations that kind of showcase to your phone that they are cellular base stations but try and send fraudulent messages or advertisements to your phones. Now moving on to convenience tools, a lot of people use these, in fact I use it too, and the new menu here is way more refined. So first off is the new screenshot menu. So with screenshots you can customize a lot of features, but one thing that I really like is the preview window location. So you can choose between having it left or right. Then we have the screen recording option. So most of the settings in screen recording, as you can see, are the same, but one difference here is with frame rate. So while earlier you could change the video resolution along with the bit rate that was associated with it, frame rate allows you to change your recording at 60 fps, 30 fps, 24 fps or 15 fps depending upon the storage space that you have and the kind of smoothness that you would like to see on your video. What's weird is that although this is a 90 Hz panel, we do not have a 90 FPS option showing up in the frame rate settings, but maybe that will be added in the final update. So yeah, speaking of new features added to screen recording, there's also video coding. So similar to videos that you record by the camera, your screen recording can also be saved either in H.264 or H.265 based on whether you want to save in a smaller video size while maintaining the same level of quality. So yeah, the option to have H.265 screen recording is another great factor. Now coming back, we have the quick return bubble. This is a new feature that Realme has added, and what it does is that whenever you're inside a game, you can just leave the game screen and the game information will be displayed in the quick return bubble. Now moving on, there's the smart sidebar, which a lot of viewers absolutely love. And while the overall functionality remains the same, what's new here is the ability to change or add apps and actions to the smart sidebar. So if you see in Realme UI 1.0, if you had to add actions or app to this was a whole list that was showcased here. With Realme UI 2.0, they've just made it a little more easier. So there's a transparency going on in the background that makes it a little more appealing to use. And there's a different option for tools and then apps. So you can easily add them. And they're also grouped alphabetically. So it's quite easy to recognize which app you want. Now moving on to the battery section, we have a couple of changes here as well. First off, there's a super power saving mode. And what super power saving mode does is that it reduces a lot of system performance and you'll be able to run only a few apps. So what you get here is basically an interface like this. So as you can see that your battery can last up to 2 days, 3 hours right now. But what you can access are just 3 apps that are pre-configured here and 3 more apps that you can have here, and that's it. No home screen widgets, app drawer, anything like that. Now another feature that's here is sleep standby optimization that's enabled by default, which is that whenever you're sleeping, basically your phone is being kept idle for a very long time. That is how it recognizes that you're asleep. Your phone will consume less power and it also reduces the number of notifications that come so that you don't wake up with your phone vibrating unnecessarily. That said, my favorite feature here is the optimized night charging. So what optimized night charging does is that it learns from your daily charging routine. So, it kind of understands when you're charging overnight or something like that. And what it does is that it reduces the rate at which the phone is charging. Now going on to additional settings, we have a couple of new features here as well. One, there is a simple mode, and simple mode is not like your super power saving mode. Simple mode is basically if you want to give your phone to, let's say, a senior, your parents or someone like that who do not want a lot of features and they just want a phone that's easy to use. I think Samsung devices have had this feature for a very long time, and it's nice to see Realme UI have it. So what it does is that it changes the theme and text size to make reading and accessing things a lot easier. Now, similar to OnePlus's Zen mode, Realme UI has always had the focus mode. Realme UI and ColorOS both have had this focus mode, but there are a couple of new changes here. So if you just tap and hold on focus mode, the overall interface looks the same. Even the ambient noises are the same here. But what's changed here is that when you go into settings, you'll see there's a screen of timer, and the best part here is the intense focus. So intense focus is basically how Zen mode used to be in the beginning, where if you turn on the focus mode, you just cannot exit it till the time the timer runs out. So that is, if you really want to challenge yourself, intense focus is for you. And there's also the app exceptions. So let's say you do not want, let's say you're working and everything is fine, but you do not want your mail notifications to stop. So you can just add an exception for Gmail. And so when you're in the focus mode, all your notifications will be turned off, but you'll still get your mail notifications. So there's that. Now, another small feature that's added here is with the phone dialer app, which is the ability to have speed dialer. It's a very simple feature which was sort of missing from Realme UI 1.0 for God knows what reason. But yeah, if you just tap on, let's say, any digit, nothing happens. But here, if I tap on 2, it says it's not assigned for a speed dial. You can just go to settings and assign a speed dial. Or you can just tap on settings, head over to speed dial and add a different contact or a number for each key. Another small change that we see is in the default Photos app. So if you open the Photos app here, you can see this little tab here that shows you different tags and AI identification of your favorite photos, people, and location. I think people is my favorite tab because obviously right now I don't have photos here, but what it does is that it intelligently recognizes photos that contain people, such as like Google Photos does, and it'll show you all of those photos here. So you don't have to go through your entire gallery to see different screenshots and everything. You can just access all of them right here. Another great feature is in the settings option. So let's say you're someone who's using HEIF format to save your images. That's great, except that when you try and share those photos, they do not work on all other devices. So here there's the auto convert HEIF images setting. So what it does is whenever you're trying to share an HEIF image, basically a compressed image with someone else, it'll automatically be converted to JPEG so that they do not have any issues in trying to open it. And well, that was it. If you liked our video, make sure to let us know by giving us a thumbs up and subscribing to our channel for more awesome tech content. Till then, this is Varun from Guiding Tech, and I'll see you in the next one.